And he also says this, whatever you do, it's secondary to how you do it. I don't do anything. I become aware of it. The simplest of tasks is the opportunity to experience enlightenment. And so for each of us, I don't do anything, I become aware of it. And this is connecting with that pure heart awareness, and then allowing that voice of stillness and light from within us to act through us. And so the non-separate self really does not do anything at all. The body might be doing a lot of labor. The mind, the hands, the heart might be making what looks from the outside like a lot of effort. If we are in contact with the source energy, and we're simply allowing the source energy to express through us, we will be fully aware. I don't do anything. I become aware of it. Good morning, welcome, 1,000 welcomes. And we are meditating so joyfully and gratefully today on the topic, instant self-enlightenment. I don't do anything. And the series that we're meditating on, and also the topic, come from Swami Shankarananda. So I'll share with you his teaching, and then a number of different entry points for all of us to dive into that awareness that he's expressing through this phrase, instant self-enlightenment, and also the teaching, I don't do anything. He says, everything that is before you is the opportunity to experience instant self-enlightenment. Then you are living self-realization, and only then. And he also says this, whatever you do, it's secondary to how you do it. I don't do anything. I become aware of it. The simplest of tasks is the opportunity to experience enlightenment. And so for each of us, I don't do anything, I become aware of it. And this is connecting with that pure heart awareness, and then allowing that voice of stillness and light from within us to act through us. And so the non-separate self really does not do anything at all. The body might be doing a lot of labor. The mind, the hands, the heart might be making what looks from the outside like a lot of effort. If we are in contact with the source energy, and we're simply allowing the source energy to express through us, we will be fully aware. I don't do anything. I become aware of it. And so a couple of teachings from the sacred scriptures, from several different scriptures. One, the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, verse 33. The divine says to each of us, be thou merely an instrument of mine. And so for you to allow yourself to be a beloved instrument of the divine, like one of those amazing, precious violins, for example, allowing yourself to be music that is played by the divine life energy that is only able to be shared through you. Your whole life will be a beautiful and perfect song, because that divine energy will be sharing through you. And that's a way to translate the Bhagavad Gita, the song of the beautiful and perfect God. And so for each of us to just allow that beautiful, perfect, divine energy, that energy of wholeness, completion and perfection, that inner knowing, that pure heart awareness, to live, to allow that to live through us, that is when we fully become our true selves. And it's so simple, and it's so present, and it's so already here. From the Tao Te Ching, the master acts without doing anything. Things arise, and she lets them come. Things disappear, and she lets them go. She has, but doesn't possess. Acts, but doesn't expect. When her work is done, she forgets it. That is why it lasts forever. And so there is just such sweetness and such ease in that teaching, such majestic fullness of awareness. And so for each of us, we're inviting ourselves to live the fullness of that awareness I'm about to share some teachings from the Ashtavakra Gita, and that is a teaching of very, very pure non-dual awareness. And it's so pure that it doesn't tell you how to realize this, it just simply expresses this. So, if you're reading the Ashtavakra Gita in combination with meditating in a sincere and non-attached way, practicing karma yoga in a sincere and non-attached way, for some people, simply hearing the simplicity and the purity of this expression of non-dual awareness can help you remember, can help you wake up and say, yes, that is the truth. And there's nothing more that needs to be said than that. It's a very, very pure expression. And it's actually sharing the same recognition that's articulated by the Tao. My understanding is that's the same recognition that Jesus articulates when he says, not I, but the Father within me doeth the works. Not I, but the divine within me doeth the works. Simply opening and allowing the divine within you to share whatever is pure, whatever is bright, whatever is wise, whatever is perfect for that particular circumstance, for that particular relationship, for that particular task, for that particular encounter. Welcome. It is a joy to be with you. If you are enjoying this content, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps light travel. And so from the Ashtavakra Gita, the thought, I am the doer, is the bite of a poisonous snake. To know I do nothing is the wisdom of faith. Be happy. One of these verses, I know, isn't it just, it's like so simple and so potent. And it also just kind of like melts everything away. It melts away illusion. And so some of this, like, I'm sharing a lot of verses. We could take a single one of these and meditate on it for the rest of the week or the rest of the month or the rest of the year or the rest of the lifetime. But I think there's also great joy in sharing some of these verses because they do melt away the illusion of the separate suffering individual self. And that's what this next verse is around. So if you bring into your own awareness, like, any suffering that you have ever experienced, perhaps suffering that you're ready and willing to heal, perhaps suffering that you've been struggling with or wrestling with, or perhaps suffering that you're aware of that other humans have experienced. A single understanding, I am the one awareness, consumes all suffering in the fire of an instant. See if you can allow yourself. So the visualization that just came to me, and I'm making my hands into an image of a container. So the separate individual self can contain awareness of suffering. And what this verse says is that the one awareness that is already here within us, as soon as we connect with that one awareness, which is everywhere and always, that consumes all suffering in the fire of an instant. And you see how it lifts you immediately out of the container that is identifying with the suffering. And so any moment that is present and available, I am the one awareness. And that remembrance, which is true for all of us always, consumes all suffering in the fire of an instant. The liberated one neither avoids experience nor craves it. He enjoys what comes and what does not. And notice how freeing that is as well. There's no attachment, there's no grasping, there's no clinging, there's no looking for things to come in a particular way. There's absolute freedom already here. And so then notice one is able to remember in the true nature of each of us, we are boundless joy. We are shining, limitless, pure love. And so we're simply remembering ourselves back into that freedom. The self, which is absolute, effortless, timeless, immaculate, is without limits and at no distance from you, You are forever the self. So the self is already here. And we're just allowing any barrier to melt away so that we're able to be in contact with that absolute, effortless, timeless, immaculate, limitless self, which is at no distance from us. The light is already here. The stillness is already here. And we're allowing that light to fill us completely. We're allowing that stillness to be present here through us and living in an entirely fresh way. He who is beyond existence and non-existence, who is wise, satisfied, free of desire, does nothing, though the world may see him in motion. The wise one is not troubled by action or inactivity. He lives happily, doing whatever gets done. Isn't this fabulous? A single verse is like making people melt into laughter of recognition and awareness. It's so fabulous. You'll like this next verse a lot. See which one you identify with more. Even doing nothing, the dull one is anxious and distracted. Even amidst great action, the wise one remains still. Isn't that brilliant? And it just melts away any aspect of you that is identifying with the energy of sluggishness, the energy of frustration, the energy of resistance, and also the energy of distraction or anxiety or restlessness. It brings us back into the remembrance of that wisdom and that stillness in the midst of great action. That's reminding me of a phrase shared by Swami Yogananda Paramahansa, who talked about being calmly active and actively calm. So he was articulating an understanding very similar to what that verse articulates. Even in practical life, the wise one remains happy. Happy to sit, happy to sleep, happy to move about, happy to speak, happy to eat. Because he knows the self, the wise one is not disrupted by practical life. He is deep and still, like a vast lake. And you can feel how that helps in our own practical life, allowing that deep, still, vast reservoir or lake or boundless energy of awareness within us to be what lives through us. Allowing the Tao to live through us, we become fully ourselves. Allowing that inner knowing to live through us, allowing the energy of kindness, the energy of universal friendship to live through us, we become our true self. For the deluded one, even rest is an activity. This is making people burst into laughter. I can't help but join. For the wise, even action bears the fruit of stillness. And so allowing ourselves in the energy of stillness to do whatever it is that arises. And then if there's any aspect of ourselves that is feeling distracted or restless, even when we are at rest, this helps us give that to the energy of stillness and let go of anything other than the energy of light and stillness. So this is reminding us of what our true self is. Abide in the glory of self. Love your true self, which is naturally happy, peaceful, and bright. So your true self, it's already there. It's that energy of peacefulness that's in your own heart. It's that energy of love, that energy of joy, that energy of brightness, which is in your own heart. And so if you're asking, who am I? It's that energy of sweetness that is already with you. It's that energy of curiosity. It's that energy of quiet. It's that energy of wholeness that is already with you. It's the energy of love. The love itself, not attached to or connected with any name or any form. That's your true self. And then one more comment from the Ashtavakra Gita about the master, the enlightened one. He is not bound by sloth, nor consumed by his own activity. He has severed the knots which bind his heart. And so anywhere that there has been constriction of his heart energy, and for most humans that comes from the experience of pain, the experience of a feeling of separation, a feeling of loss, a feeling of confusion or conflict or confusion. And another way to put this, stating this very directly, is just be completely open-hearted. Allow that energy of the pure, open-hearted awareness to live fully through us. So I'm about to share a story, and this is a story that exists in a very short form, and it tells us that everyone begins somewhere, and we're always learning. And so this is a story about Ganesh, when Ganesh is a little boy. And Ganesha's mom is Parvati, who happens to be the mother of the universe. Ganesh is playing by himself one day, and he's outside, and he finds a cat, and he pulls on the tail of the cat, and he rolls the cat in dirt. Then he goes back inside to see his mom. He climbs onto his mom's lap, and he reaches up to hug her, and he's very surprised because his mom's face is dirty. And he says to her, "Mom, what happened? Why is your face dirty?" And she says, "My child, you did this to me." And he says, I would never put dirt on you." And she says, "If you put dirt on one of my creatures, you put dirt on me." And so it's just this reminder that in some ways, every human is every one of those characters. So in some ways, every human has, in ignorance, caused pain or done something awkward or confusing. And then we realize we get to meet the results of whatever it is that we create, even if we create them in ignorance, even if we create those results not realizing what it is that we're doing. And in the story, the way that Parvati speaks to her child, there's no blame and there's no anger. It's a simple cause and effect. And she's helping him be aware of the results of his choices and of his actions. And then in some ways, every one of us has also been the cat. Every one of us has just been innocently minding our own business, and then some bully, some ignorant human comes along and pulls on our tail and rolls us in the dirt, right? So we've been that particular character as well. And then in some ways, every human is the mother of the universe, which looks with wise understanding and realizes, oh my gosh, that child had no idea what they were doing. Here's what happened. The child made a choice, and then there was a result of that choice, and then there was an effect created by that choice, and the child will meet the results of the choice. And to the extent that the child is ready, willing, and able to learn, I can help support the child in learning. And the learning is part of the process. The learning is part of being in time and space and becoming aware of cause and effect, becoming aware of the laws of energy. And so there is just almost a neutrality in the way Parvati says, this is what happened. And so for each of us to allow ourselves to give ourselves the gift of neutrality in looking upon whatever it is that has happened, whatever it is that we have created, whatever it is that we have experienced, to let it be neutral, to let it be the laws of energy are always in effect. Whatever choice is made, there are effects created by those choices. Those who make those choices will meet the results of those choices. And it's basically a neutral process. It's basically a blame-free process. So recently, in the recent weeks, we've been meditating on Jesus. This is the self-mastery that he demonstrates as well. So even if people are hitting him over the head or tormenting him, mocking him, there's no anger. There's no retaliation. There's no blame. He understands they will meet the results of their choices. And his response is pure compassion. He says, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. It's very like what Parvati was articulating. She was realizing this child has no understanding of what he was doing. And so, whatever character you most identify with at the moment in that particular story, like if you most identify with the character of Ganesh, just notice. And if you identify with that, then ask yourself with neutrality, what have I been learning? And how may I keep that learning? And the way that Swami Shankarananda put it, let go of the pain. So keep the wisdom and let go of the pain, and then I'm free. Then I am back into this energy of I am boundless awareness. I am the heart free of any knots. I am the open-hearted awareness. And if we have been identifying with the cat, we've been feeling like a bully pulled our tail, rolled us in the dirt, then can we allow ourselves to shake off the dirt and shake off the pain and realize that had nothing to do with me. I am completely untouched. The light in me, the kindness in me, the peace in me, the stillness in me is completely untouched. And I can shake that off and I can let that go. And then I'm back to that basic neutrality. What have I learned from this? The pain has gone. My heart is open. I am severing the knots which bind my heart. And then I am free. I am free to be this energy of absolute love. And then maybe we're identifying with the mother of the universe, that kind, wise awareness that is able to look upon whatever happens in time and space and able to sort of in consciousness extend a hug to anything that we are aware of. Any choices that we see humans making that cause pain for themselves or for others, to realize the laws of energy are in full operation. I can trust them. And so I can act wisely, opening my heart and allowing pure wisdom to act through me, sharing the talents, the skills, the wisdom, the insight, the goodness, the joy, the creativity, the ingenuity that is possible only to share through me. But I also can realize that that which creates the whole universe is also sustaining it, is also supporting it. It doesn't all rest on my human shoulders. And so then notice as well that we're back to that energy of freedom. We're back to that energy of joy. We're back to that energy of being in this realization of, I am simply an instrument of the divine. I don't do anything. I become aware of it. And then that pure, quiet awareness through me is able to do whatever is optimal through me. So I have a story that I came across this week. It was a video that was recorded in the 50s from a survivor of the Titanic. And it was just a short little clip. And the interviewer asked the woman, when did you become aware that it was serious? And she said, I didn't think that it was serious. It was completely unimaginable that this could happen. And I didn't want to get in the lifeboat. And they were making me get in the last lifeboat. And I didn't want to go. But I went. And then very, very, very quickly, the lights went down and down and down and down. And she said, and the band kept playing. The band kept playing, Nearer, my God, to thee. And that just made tears stream down my cheeks. The idea of that's what the band does. The band plays. And in that particular circumstance, Nearer, my God, to thee was their last gift, their last action in embodiment, allowing that energy of faith, allowing that song of the divine to share through them in that particular way. And so for each of us, the question that we are inviting ourselves to do is we're inviting ourselves to turn within, to allow the heart within each of us to be completely open, to be that bright, calm, pure, free awareness, completely unencumbered by any feeling of tiredness, by any feeling of sluggishness, by any feeling of sloth, by any feeling of anxiousness, by any feeling of worry, and just recognizing the divine is already here, fully here in the heart of awareness that is within me. Grace is already here, fully here. My true self is already here, fully here. It is my own open-hearted caring and dedication and imagination and curiosity. It is the questions that I ask and the way that I open to find the solutions. It is the way that I learn. It is the way that I course correct when it is time to course correct. It is the way that I allow myself to forgive myself and others and the world. It is the way I allow myself to accept whatever is. What happens then is that we enter very, very deeply and very directly into the energy of strong, universal friendship. And so if you connect with Ganesh, Ganesh is known to be the remover of obstacles. And one of the ways in which Ganesh is the remover of obstacles is that Ganesh's energy of friendship is so strong that there are no obstacles in the energy of friendship. There's only friendship. And then where's the obstacle? Because you're so fully immersed in that energy of friendship, you're not noticing any obstacle, and then it vanishes. In time and space, it also vanishes. And so see if you can, and I'm closing my eyes, inviting myself to come directly into contact with this energy within my own heart, the energy of incredibly strong universal friendship is with me and within me always. And so I'm simply noticing that when I open my heart and I allow there to be nothing to forgive, nothing to heal, nothing to let go, nothing to solve, nothing to fix, nothing to figure out, and I simply allow there to be the energy of universal friendship, the only thing that is present is wisdom that is inexhaustible, joy that is boundless, kindness that is limitless, love that is peerless and pure and true and bright, freedom that is already here spiritually, guiding the precious, pure heart awareness of each one of us. And when we live in the current, in the flow of that universal, strong friendship energy, the whole world transforms. Our experience of the world transforms. And then the world itself transforms as well. And we realize that all along, this stillness in me, this light in me, without any effort, without any strain, already is the friend of all beings and the friend of all that is. Thank God, and God bless us all.